Brilliance Audio.
Chance by Matthew FitzSimmons. Performed by Michael Crouch. December 3rd, 2037. The dead lake was absolutely still beneath a cloudless midnight sky. A toxic velvet blanket draped languidly across the California desert. Moonlight didn't sparkle off its surface so much as suffocate in the gloomy waters. When it was very hot, which it always was nowadays, the lake vomited up hydrogen sulfide like a slow-decaying corpse, filling the air with the stench of 1,000,000 rotting eggs. Locals claimed they couldn't even smell it anymore, the human brain working its magic trick of erasing the unpleasant so it could get on with the simple task of survival. But most families kept ventilators beside their children's beds for when the air became particularly unbreathable. The Salton Sea was the stillborn bastard of an engineering mishap back at the dawn of the last century. In the quest for water for the voracious farms of the Imperial Valley, a canal had been dug to divert water from the then mighty Colorado River. The canal ruptured like a diseased aorta, spilling hundreds of millions of gallons of water into an ancient lake bed and creating the largest lake in California. In the 1950s, California did what it did best, rebranding mistake as opportunity, and the Salton Riviera was born. For a time, the sea thrived, attracting millions of visitors. It even had its own yacht club. But by the 1970s, the Salton Sea had begun to die. The lake deoxygenated in the summers, and the shores became mass graveyards, buffets for seagulls that flocked inland to feast on the carcasses of asphyxiated fish. Vacationers went elsewhere, and the resort towns were abandoned. In the decades since, the sea had devolved into a place devoid of life. It became, instead, an outpost of uncivilization, attracting a new breed looking to get away from it all. A patchwork tribe of artists and outcasts and the insane who could live beyond the rule of law, free by their own leave. A gray van idled on the shore of the lake, headlights casting long shadows across the dried, cracked beachhead. It had no license plates or distinguishing features of any kind. 2 men leaned against the grill, waiting in silence. Both had ski masks pushed back high on the tops of their heads, ready when the time came. Their birth certificates insisted they were brothers, but there was little family resemblance. One was a fair-skinned redhead with cauliflower ears and a nose permanently signaling for a right turn, while the other had dark, luxurious hair, a trait that reminded people of a young George Clooney. Something he enjoyed reminding his brother about at every opportunity. The redhead looked less like a movie star and more like a concrete barrier along a particularly treacherous span of highway. He was at least twice the size of his younger brother, a fact of life he reinforced through periodic beatdowns. His thick forearms rested on a rifle that hung from a tactical sling. 2 more men waited in the front seats of the van. The younger of the 2 was Chinese-American and pecked away at an old laptop balanced precariously on the steering wheel. There was no cell service by the sea, one of the reasons they'd chosen the location. The other, a tall, willowy white man who was older than his 3 companions, dozed with his head against the window like a worker riding the bus home after a long shift. A black revolver rested on his knee. In back, a 5th man lay on his side, a hood drawn over his face, wrists bound firmly together. The big redhead looked up, listening intently. Was a vehicle approaching? It wasn't always easy to tell with electric engines, which could sound like anything but what they were. There it was again, a dull whisper from the desert,